Hi friends! Today we're going to be doing a bit of decorating in my new house. As you can see, I have a lot of vintage decor, and this isn't even the vintage decor that I've unpacked. This is just the stuff that I have found recently at like flea markets. A few of these things, like these vintage aprons, when I packed up my items to my old house to move here, I used these vintage aprons like as packaging material. So like these things I unpacked, but for the most part, a lot of this stuff is from garage sales and flea markets, and my actual vintage decor is still in boxes in my spare bedroom, and I am not unpacking that yet. I get easily overwhelmed by decorating. I've learned that about myself. I think that's because of the content creation part of it, that there's a lot of pressure that I record everything that I decorate. And so like when I get hit by the decorating bug, I also have to make sure that like I'm dressed appropriately. Sometimes even that I have makeup on and that I have to record every step of it. And it does kind of make me feel a bit overwhelmed. And so we're not going to decorate this big shelf today. We're just going to do a little bit of decorating since it is the very first step that I'm doing in this new house. I'm also starting to choose to care less about what I wear in my videos and to not have makeup on. I do right now, but when you're watching my videos, you'll see that I'm wearing like my Oma's old nighty house dress thing, and I'm not wearing any makeup, and so it just makes it a lot easier for me to actually get decorating, and I don't have to make myself look perfect and camera ready. Now, my living room in my new house, I haven't shown very much, but it has been covered in vintage pillows and vintage blankets this whole time. And that's because I wanted to unpack a few blankets to use, and then I unpacked all of my blankets and pillows, and I don't have a linen closet or linen cupboard here. This house is still, it's you know, a wonderful size. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, but I am lacking a lot of storage. It is definitely downsizing from my old house, and I'm missing things that are really important, like a linen cupboard. And it's hard for me to start decorating my living room when I have like 20 blankets and pillows in the way. And so we're going to solve that problem today. Once we're done decorating, we are going to reward ourselves for our hard work. Even though it's a little bit of decorating, we're still gonna do a little reward. I find that's helpful for me. And we're gonna go on a vintage field trip together. We're in the kitchen, and I quickly decided to put this purple bookcase in here because I needed the extra storage. This lower half, I have like Doritos and chips in here because my kitchen is kind of small and I needed the extra space for snacks. So I decided to put this bookcase in here. It used to be in my living room, and this works really well in the kitchen now. And you can't see it, but there's actually a light switch right here. And it works perfectly because this back is open, and so you can see the wallpaper through it, and then I can also access the light switch and then the outlet that's there as well. Now, this bookcase, since I moved in, has been a disaster. It is clean now, but before it was just filled with things that I quickly unpacked and didn't know where to put them. So like I had a cake stand on here and a bunch of mismatched vases and instruction manuals for things. And one night I just cleared it all off so that I would be ready to decorate it whenever I got the time for it. So like I said, most of my decorations are still packed away, and so I'm just going to decorate this with the loose pieces that I have around. Some of them I did unpack, like I mixed them in when I unpacked my dishes and stuff, but other items like this Pyrex that I recently found at the thrift store, I have other pieces as well that I just found, and so I'd like to decorate this, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look a lot better than what it was, and it will make me happy when I see it instead of feeling stressed out. If you followed me for a while, like on my Instagram, you know that I tend to match a lot of my decor. Like I'll do like a pastel theme or a rainbow theme, and this is not going to be that way at all. And it's not going to be super matchy-matchy. It's just going to be whatever I want it to be, just whatever decor is around. And when I stack my Pyrex and bowls and things like that, I just use items from the grocery store. So this is a plastic sherbet container. I like to keep those, and they work great to stack things. And that one is clear, which is cool. So even if you look at it from up top, it just looks like a clear little stand. I don't use anything fancy to stack my Pyrex. Same with these. I just got this at a garage sale, and I have a sherbet container in here as well. And it looks so much better when they're stacked like that, you know? This is a napkin holder that was my Oma's. It has a wooden shoe because my Oma and Opa are Dutch. It also says my last name up top. It says the blank family. I'm not sharing my last name. Otherwise, I would show you this more up close. But it's just a really special family memento. And my Oma would always keep paper disposable napkins in here, but I keep my reusable cloth napkins in here instead because it's better for the planet. And they're a lot cuter to have these, and then I just wash them. There. Good enough for me. That wasn't a ton of effort, but I think it looks really nice. I guess it's accidentally like a green, yellow, and red theme. I mean, green and yellow are my favorite colors, so I'm not surprised that those two went together. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It sparks a lot more joy than a bunch of instruction manuals do. All right, now we're going to move on to decorating a bit of my bedroom. And my bedroom is actually a bit bigger than my last bedroom. And if you watched my bedroom tour in my old house, it was really awkward and had like something like a window or a door on every wall. And so it was really hard to place furniture. And this bedroom is easier. And I knew that I had enough space on one of the walls to add another piece of furniture. And I really didn't want to buy anything new. I'm trying to save money. And so I measured all the furniture in my house that I already have. And there was a white bookcase that I got for free that I have had for like 15 years. And that fit perfectly in the spot on that wall. Now my bedroom is bigger, but like I said, the storage situation in this house is a huge downsize. And so I am trying to use my furniture in a more practical way with the storage solutions. So we're gonna try to make this bookcase a linen cupboard. Since I have so many cute blankets and quilts, I want to put them on display instead of just hiding them away in a linen cupboard anyway. Plus, what's more cozy than displaying all your vintage blankets in sight of your bed? So I folded them all up to be the length of the bookcase so that I could fit as many as possible. And I've got vintage afghans, vintage sheet quilts that I made, a 70s sleeping bag, a groovy comforter, and a bunch more. So if you want to see my full blanket collection, you can watch one of my very first YouTube videos where I share my collection. Since the bookcase itself was so practically used, I made the top of the bookcase a place to display some of my favorite decor pieces. I settled on using my favorite vintage suitcases and some tins, of course, because I have a huge tin collection. And then my groovy vintage green radio that I got at the flea market this summer. Then to fill it out even more, I always add a few figurines that spark joy. And I got 2 flour salt and pepper shakers for $5 at a yard sale that I added. Then I added 2 cat salt and pepper figurines, and they do not match. They're not a part of the same set, but who cares? And they're really cute. Cats are my favorite. And speaking of cats, stay till the end of the video for an exciting update about the stray cat that I've been feeding. This is my finished linen cupboard. Also, I cleared off all the junk that was on my dresser. And this is what I mean when I say that, like, it's hard for me to decorate when it comes to content creation, and it stresses me out because I just want to decorate this. And normally when you don't have to film it, you don't worry about it if you have a mess over there. So like I said, I'm just trying to be more relaxed and not care about makeup and if there's a pile of junk in the way. So please don't judge me too harshly. I have so many. How many do I have? 11 blankets on here. Yay! It fits so many and it's so cozy. I mean, I've slept in my bed a few nights looking at this, and it makes me so happy how colorful it is, all the different textures, and then also this little bit of decor is so cute. I'm glad that the white goes together. That was a happy accident. And I found this bookcase, I think it was like 15 years ago in my childhood home. I was like, I don't know, like 18, 17, and my neighbors put this out on the side of the road and they didn't want it anymore. And I was like, that seems like a waste. And I have had it ever since, and I have decorated it with it for years. It has been so practical and wonderful. I never repainted it. I know this isn't like a big decorating reveal. It's just like one section of my bedroom, but a lot of YouTube videos do huge room reveals, like let's decorate a living room in one day. And I'm just not in a place where I can do that right now. And also I feel like this is more realistic. This is how I actually decorate, is I do little spaces at a time, especially with moving, that it helps a lot to just tackle little areas. I would love to know in the comments how you decorate, if you do like one big room at a time, or if you prefer to do small corners. I would be interested to hear what you do personally. Something that I really want to do differently in this house compared to my old house or any place that I've lived before is I want to make my furniture more practical and to serve a purpose instead of just having furniture to just hold vintage decor. And I feel like that's like sacrilegious to say in the vintage community, but I just don't think I like that anymore. Having like a giant bookcase just to display decor, because it stresses me out that I have to decorate it. I have to make sure that I have a lot of decorations in general to fill up those bookcases. I really want to make my furniture actually hold things that I use. And these things that I use are beautiful, but I want them to be on display. And I think it will serve a lot of purposes. It will make my furniture more useful, and then it will also create a more peaceful life for myself, that I don't have to decorate as much. And it puts all these things on display. Like, this is a beautiful linen library. Why wouldn't I want to see it? So let me know in the comments what you think of my linen cupboard, linen library idea. Okay, now that we have done some decorating in this house, even though it wasn't a ton, but it was still exciting because like none of this house is decorated. So we deserve a little reward, a little treat. So we are going to go on a vintage field trip together. We are going to go to a car show. Now, before you say, I don't like cars, me neither, okay? I don't like cars either. Like, people that are like car bros are like, oh, I love my car. That is not me. Cars are pretty boring, except for I think vintage cars are really cool, and I've never been to a vintage car show before, and so I thought I'd go, and it was so much fun. It was way more fun than I thought it would be. The event was at the Gilmore Car Museum in Kalamazoo, and the event was German cars only. And when I was asked if I wanted to go, it occurred to me that there would probably maybe be Volkswagen buses there, and I love those, and I love Volkswagen Beetles as well, and so that's the whole reason I went. And I'm wearing this outfit in hopes that I am manifesting being able to see a Volkswagen bus, and maybe I hope I will get to sit in one, because it is a car show where they normally like have doors open and their hoods up and stuff. I've never been inside a Volkswagen bus before. I've taken pictures by them when I've seen them like parked in random places. So I really hope I get to be in one. Not in a shy way. Oh no. When I got to the car show, there was a bunch of Volkswagen Beetles, and I was so excited, especially because one of them put out a bunch of vintage items to make it look like the car was on a road trip in the 60s. It was so adorable. There weren't any Volkswagen buses in sight, and I got a little sad, but most people that own Volkswagen buses are like the hippie type of people and probably like to sleep in and not get to car shows at 8 a.m. So I went inside some of the buildings to look at other old cars and see if the buses might show up later. Oh my word, the Gilmore Car Museum is so impressive. The amount of super cool vintage cars there was amazing, and they have a ton of buildings that I didn't even get a chance to look through. And inside one of the buildings, they even had Fonzarelli's motorcycle, which was so cool. That was the highlight for me because I loved watching Happy Days as a kid. My favorite thing, though, was definitely the vintage diner that is on the property. And that was really cool because it's working and you can have lunch there. And by lunch, I mean that I got a donut and a chocolate milkshake, but it was so good and really fun to get to be in this old 1940s diner that had a really cool phone booth in the back. And there's a mirror there, which I'm guessing is for girls to check their makeup in, but it was also the perfect spot to take a selfie. And I doubt they had selfies in mind when they built this diner in 1941, but they did a great job anyway. And then I was like, am I hearing a tuba in the background? And sure enough, there was a whole band out playing festive songs since this event was for German cars. And they ended up playing my favorite song from The Sound of Music, which was pretty magical. Anyway, I went back to the Volkswagen section and lo and behold, the buses started rolling in and they matched my outfit. So manifesting works. I started talking with the owner of the first bus that I saw, the mustard one, and he was honestly so nice. And he could tell how enthusiastic I was. And right away, he offered to let me sit in the bus. And I died of happiness. He was the only person that like offered to let me sit in their car. I don't think anybody was sitting in cars. And I just talked to him for like a second and he was like, come on in. And I died of happiness, of course. And I didn't record that moment because I was, in the moment. And I got to sit in the front seat and it was the most amazing thing ever. He told me that this fan was the air conditioning in the Volkswagen and I laughed so hard. And anyway, it was a total blast. Being inside the Volkswagen bus was a dream come true. And besides that, the guy that parked next to us at the car show had a vintage 1980s Volkswagen station wagon. And we spent all day hanging out with him because he came by himself. And we made a new friend, which was really cool. So add going to vintage car shows to a list of places that you can make new friends. Thanks for coming with me to the car show and then also for helping me decorate. Let me know in the comments what you think of the decorating or if you thought the car show was interesting or the diner. I'd love to hear what you think. Remember to stay tuned till the end to see updates on Blossom the stray cat. Thank you so much for watching my video, friends, and spending time with me. Bye! I feel like the witch in Hansel and Gretel that lures children through a trail of candy to her little house to bake them. I'm not gonna bake the cat, I promise. She has one foot out. Come on. Okay, well, she got fully up on the step. That's something. Hi. Oh my God, she did it. Day 2 of Blossom eating in the sunroom, and this time she's on the towel that I laid out. I positioned the food bowl so she had no choice but to sit on the towel, so I'm hoping she'll be nice and comfy there. She's such a good kitty. I'm in the middle of making my spaghetti and look. Hi. I think she sees me and she doesn't mind. I'm gonna get closer. Don't see anything. Sorry, you can see what a mess my house is. I'm just trying to take care of a cat, guys. That's all I really care about. Well, I'm sitting like 6 feet away from her, and she looked right at me and kept eating. So she must know that I give her food or something, and she doesn't mind. This is huge progress. Hi. Okay, she definitely saw me there. This is awesome. Okay, well now all these birds think that I've got an open door policy here and they can just hang out and take a little few bites of cat food. I'm definitely feeling like Snow White now, which is pretty cute, but you guys can't go in there.